historien hadde bodd overnaturlige vesen side om side med det skandinaviske folk. De kan ikke merke seg menneskelige sanser om ikke de velger det selv. Usynlige har de hjulpet på gårder, hjulpet søyer på villspor å finne veien hjem, gitt assistanse ved kalving, ved harde vintre eller ved skogbranner. I retur har de fått noe av gårdens korn og melk. Vesen har fylt engene med blomster, vist mennesker veien til bortgjemte vann som kan vise dem glimt av fremtiden, og hvisket drømmer inn i ørene til dem som sover.
And welcome to yet another episode of Vaesen, our little Nordic horror campaign. The players just saw the episode title, in case you're wondering why some of them are looking mildly concerned. We'll do a quick lap, metaphorically, around the Zoom call, and people can briefly introduce who they're playing, and then we'll get a in-character recap, which will undoubtedly be very informative and not at all kind of a tongue-lashing. Start with my top left, Baker.
Hi, I'm Baker. I play Astrid. I did not kill anyone last time, and I'm going to try and keep that streak going. I'm also going to not say things I shouldn't in front of other people. Is that right, Anniek? Did I do it right?
Those are excellent intentions, and I am so excited to see which one fails first. Eva.
Yep. I am Eva playing Linnea and absolutely regretting a lot of choices from last time. It's fine. Officially, I am your private investigator. I obviously suck very hard at that career choice.
I was about to say, speaking of sucking at your career choice, but that would be really rude. Mikyl?
Hi, I'm Mikyl. I play Komrik, and he's just an officer that just, tries to wander off and then come back, and
it's not like he's a deserter or anything.
No, not at all.
Oh, not a theme to a character.
Yep. So that's Komrik.
Nice. Wilde. While petting your pet, please briefly tell us who your pet is.
Yes.
Yes. Hello, I am Wilde, Outlaw Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. I am playing Fredrik, the servant to Miss Linnea. And in the group, I am somehow the voice of reason. I do not like
how
it.
did this
I do not
happen?
like it. We must fix this mistake. It cannot happen again. I don't think it will change.
My name is Anniek. I play everybody else. I am the consequence of their bad decisions, and I'm very excited. Fredrik will give our recap today. Again, very excited.
Yes. In terms of what happened last time, let's see, Komrik managed to rejoin the group after going after some dalliances, finding some troll, most likely, that they were chasing in the alleyways, doing their thing, probably panhandling afterwards, who knows. But eventually, they come to find us. The carriage managed to bring them to the mausoleum, where we had found Rollo, who unfortunately had been severely injured. I, through no fault of my own, was also stuck inside, but I had managed to get Miss Linnea out after she was having a severe panic attack from seeing the poor Mr. Rollo very unconscious and profusely bleeding. Miss Astrid was not much help, but managed to get us to a carriage, I believe. At least I was able to summon the doctor, something which no one else wanted. I do not understand why these people do not trust the medical profession. I mean, God, that was the only reason why Rollo was safe now. I mean, I had to give Miss Linnea a tongue lashing. I do not like it, but there are times when I must assert the fact that she is indeed just a young woman and does not know everything. Komrik tried his best to not help Mr. Rollo. I fear he quite possibly wants him dead for some reason. And scared a little boy who was driving our carriage by doing the most American thing I've ever seen and pulling a gun on him. I'm surprised he managed to bring it into the country, honestly. Luckily, Rollo is safe. We are headed to the sanitarium. Me and Miss Linnea will have a deep discussion about this, and I may have to inform her parents. Astrid is deeply afraid of the sanitarium for good reason. I mean, she spouted some wonderful nonsense in front of the doctor. I'm sure she is next to be institutionalized, of which I cannot blame the doctor at all. And I guess from there, we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, Miss Leelo is at the tavern and will be able to help us. But if worse comes to worse, we will go to her actual tavern and find her there. She seemed to be helpful, at least. And we'll deal with this priest later. We still do not know what is going on with this child we were sent to see. Through no fault of my own. For some reason, this priest was in everyone's top priority. So perhaps the child is dead. Who knows? But that is for tomorrow. For today, we are all way too tired. I guess that's about the gist of everything.
Right. My favorite part, of course, remains the fact that you are 7 episodes in and still ignoring the main mystery. That might actually be a record because I think my Call of Cthulhu group stumbled on the mystery in session 6. So, good job, you're taking the crown.
To be fair, I want to point out that we did talk to the mother.
It's true.
We did. We did that.
To be fair, you gave us a very engaging NPC.
You did. It's also your fault.
Don't blame me on Leelo.
Leelo will be here for 2 sessions. Okay, then we should hang out, pet goats, and talk to Leelo about nonsense for 2 whole sessions.
And get no information.
She has 4 pages of information for you.
And to be fair, we did manage to go a whole session without asking her a single question.
Yes.
Well, there was a
ignoring the fact that she was flirting with most of you.
Wait,
you gave
Leelo
her
was
nothing.
flirting with Astrid?
She was flirting with most people.
Astrid would have took her up on that.
I mean, if you would have been able to tell, apparently.
To be fair, my response to Linnea the other day was, yeah, that sounds hard. Bye!
Yep. You're just an adorable group of awkwardness. Speaking of, I believe we've left the 4 of you in front of the drunken sailor watching the carriage drive off, correct?
Didn't Fredrik go with them?
No, I think the doctor was with Rollo and Fredrik just went,
okay.
Finally some sense, good luck. We'll come see him, maybe, when we drop off Astrid.
So we're all going to the sanitarium?
I don't know where you're going. No. You're in front of the inn. I'm dying to hear where you're going.
Astrid's like, maybe should we go see the baby?
I'm gonna go change because I'm very gross and just maybe like wash my face super quick. Look a little more presentable for meeting, Count von Kaiserling. Count? I think he's a count.
Additional point of order, Linnea is still drunk and Astrid is still high.
How much time did we spend?
It's been like
putzing
half
around
an
in the-
hour.
in the
It's been
graveyard?
like half an hour. This is not a large city.
We've only been there for half an hour.
Look, I don't
This much.
know about opium.
Between the mausoleum and getting Rollo from the inn back to the sanatorium, an hour, half an hour, something like that.
Let's be real. It'll
Like,
probably take Linnea.
A lot
like-
of things are within 10 minutes of each other with a carriage.
See, we're
Not a
playing
big
this
city.
game, and we're playing it in real time. That's not a good sign.
You're slightly slower in real time. That's worse.
That's because we were like all split up at some point last session.
I know. I had
Yeah.
yes. This is also true. Again, I am super happy I gave no end date when I recruited you people for this game. You're like, we're together forever now.
When I
Okay.
said that you have carte blanche on my channel, Anniek, that was not exactly what I had foreseen, but we're here for it.
Fine.
No,
Season
It's
2
too
coming to
late
you
now.
2030.
Yeah.
I would like to
Exactly.
point out that morphine, opium, if not taken at full strength, only lasts between 1.5 and 3 hours.
So you have roughly 1.5 hours left.
and like, Linnea, I mean, she didn't take like a whole bottle of whiskey. It was like a shot, maybe 2.
You drink a flask.
On the panic attack.
I don't actually know. Is it 4? How many shots are in a flask?
How big is your flask?
I didn't take the whole flask. I
Alright,
said
let
I
me
took a pull off my flask. A deep pull.
Let me check.
I don't know. I have like an 8-shot flask.
Yeah, I don't think there's a standard size.
I was about to say, I have an 8-shot flask in real life.
Okay,
And
so
that's like my smallest flask.
That's my purse flask. The hip flask is bigger, because that one
Yeah.
usually goes into the drinking horn. I don't have a problem. I just have aesthetic.
I have a backpack that I fill with liquor when we go hiking.
I mean, I'm not judging you.
You're not judgmental at all.
2 shots? 3?
Let me just drink my mead in peace.
What's a solid? Whatever. It would probably take her like 3 hours to sober up total.
All right, that sounds about fair.
While Linnea's getting dressed, Astrid would like to send a letter to Leelo's Inn.
The other one. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell us what you're writing, or do you want to type it to me?
It's simply going to be, we've run into some issues with the church. I know that you know a bit about the priest there. We would like to talk to you. Also, it seems that they may have hurt Rollo, and we may need a safe place to hide, if possible. In addition, what do you know about the doctor? And then just like give a little bit of a rundown of what happened, and we might need help, and Rollo's severely injured, and we think the priest did it. And we don't like the new guy running this inn. I'm just gonna, P.S. Who the hell is this running your inn now? I don't like him.
He's the old guy running the inn. Leelo is temporary.
I know, but I'm still gonna call it her inn because I consider it her inn.
That's fair. She probably does too at this point.
Writing letters on opiates. I wonder
Yep.
what this looks like.
Can
It's a very
Will
rambly
you
letter.
roll me a learning check, please?
I
Do
feel
you
like
wrote what you actually
I
wrote?
feel like there's gonna be some pictures.
Like, here's what
Diagrams.
happened.
A lot of thing with
Yeah.
like all caps.
Yeah, so learning is logic. So
It is.
My worst.
Oh, wait.
I am massively abusing skills today.
my learning
Not
is
just today, let's be honest.
We're
My
using the
learning-
game, so
my learning
Yeah.
is that thing that I have advantage in.
You get +2. It's a good
Oh,
thing no one
nice.
from Free League Publishing is watching this at any point in time. They'd be horrified if they watched me play their gig this way.
So I just add +2 to one of my dice, right?
Yes.
Don't forget if you have any mental or physical. You subtract it.
Yeah, your conditions.
Okay, so if I have a 5 and a... No, 2 + 3 is 5. Wait, yeah. So if I have a 5, can I add +2 to that and make it a 6?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh.
then I have 3 beers.
3 successes. Well done. Your letter to Leelo is comprehensive, well illustrated, and you catch yourself halfway through a sentence, and you figure, you're probably going to read this letter as I send it. I'd better not put in anything about the supernatural, and change tack midway through a sentence and just go, the priest did it!
Okay.
Without mentioning ghosts
Also,
or trauma.
because I did this, I'm like, since I'm still high, Astrid is like giggling incessantly while she writes it.
Fair enough.
I've never been on opium, but I've been on other things and I giggle. So, to the surprise of no one.
I haven't been on opium, but I've been on opiates, and I found them incredibly boring.
Okay, I've been on opiates
It's
and they
sleepy.
make me sick, so
Yeah.
we're gonna go with giggling.
In my defense, mine were prescribed. But again,
Mine were
well-crafted
too.
letter. Who do you trust with this letter? Is my next question.
Is there a biased non-third part? There
There are definitely biased third parties around.
Is there a non-biased third-party
Non-biased
person
Party.
that I could pay money to deliver it and pay them extra money to deliver it quickly?
You could consider the courier service.
I will go to the courier service.
It is literally their gerb. They will take your
Perfect.
money.
I didn't think about a courier service.
Fine. Fine.
Don't trust the postmaster. You don't trust the doctor. You don't trust.
I know, right?
I
You just
forgot
like
that courier
Astrid is
service.
full on fight the establishment, trust no one, everyone's bad.
They're all connected to the church.
Man, you are going full QAnon right now.
No. I don't
So
have a
are we
problem
go-
with the government. I have a problem with the church. There's a difference. Wait, the government is the church in this state.
Yes.
So
I was about to say, those are very closely linked.
never
Lost
mind.
Wilde, I only see cattail. Oh, this is such a well-organized stream, you guys. All right, so you use the post as it is meant to be used. Is this a rush order?
Yes.
That'll take 2 silvers because they'll put someone on a pony rather than waiting for the next cart to leave.
Okay, I have 4 resources, which means I'm comfortable.
Yes.
So I have that, right?
You have that, especially since your room and the beer so far have been paid for by the society.
Okay.
Although this would be probably a time for Astrid to realize that with Rollo gone, you don't really know how to access the resources of the society.
Astrid's gonna go back, grab Komrik, and be like, we're going through all of Rollo's shit to find his money. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Do we have his stuff here?
In his
Some
room.
of his stuff was left in his room. Okay.
Okay.
I assume, and I explain it as it's the money that the society would have given him in order to pay for the room and board, and so we should find it so we can do our jobs.
Astrid, you're sweating right now. I really think you should sit down.
Look, I'm high. It's okay. Let's go.
That was what I was afraid of.
It's painkillers. It's for my back. It's fine.
I've heard that
It's
said
medicinal.
quite a few times. I'm sure it's for your back, and he does air quotes as he starts heading up the stairs.
You hear a muffled through their room door. Astrid, which one's prettier, the blue or the dark blue? Or the I guess it's dark blue and darker blue?
Do the darker blue. It'll bring out your hair. It will bring out the highlights in your hair and the gold flecks in your eyes.
Oh. Oh.
So, Komrik and Astrid, please roll investigation as you're ransacking Rollo's items.
Fredrik is just waiting outside of Linnea's room.
Oh, we've lost Baker, I think. She hit her head.
Oh,
Baker.
Baker,
what happened?
stay with us. She went
I'm
for a
here.
die and then came back up.
I'm here.
Oh, on the desk?
Yeah, it's fine. I misjudged it completely, so I didn't hit the corner.
You need opiates.
I do.
Keep drinking your seltzer. It'll numb the pain.
Yes.
All right, hang on. Let me grab my notes.
I got no successes.
You have no successes. Lovely.
These dice hate me.
You say that every week. Okay, just send
I
me your
know.
address in Discord, and I will send you some fucking dice. I have 900. I will send you a set that rolls well for me, and we will fix this.
You're so generous.
I had 5.
I need you to find things.
Put them in the freezer,
Yeah.
Mikyl.
Yeah.
Bless
I
them
need
in
to
the
do that.
moonlight.
I had 5 dice, and on a letter, I rolled 3 when I had like 4. And this bullshit. I got a 1.
None. One?
I
One
will
beer?
point out, by the way, I grabbed my notes from a few sessions ago. Astrid, you have +2 on investigation, not on learning.
I thought it was learning because I thought we agreed that the library was. Oh, okay.
No. Your
I-
augury.
Library is learning.
Why?
Yeah, no,
why-
but we counted your augury.
Oh shit.
So we can say you had 2 successes on the letter, which is still a well-crafted letter, and move your
Mhm.
+2 to this roll.
I have learning down, so I'm gonna change.
I will
that
also
in my
point out
notes.
Komrik has a +2 to investigation according to my notes.
I'm gonna re-roll my dice because I picked them up, and I won't count my 1 success.
So I'll just recap in my notes. I have Fredrik +2 to observation, Astrid +2 to investigation, Komrik +2 to investigation, Linnea +2 to ranged combat, and what's left of Rollo has +2 to learning. Maybe he can learn how to talk again. You don't know.
Okay, I updated mine that I have a plus because I had it down as learning. I
So that's 2 successes then.
Y'all
With the
gone to
plus 2.
I just think, look, I never take notes. I took notes, y'all. I won bonus points.
You do. I'm so sorry
Proud of
about
you.
that.
I'm writing
I
that down.
really
right
thought
now.
it was
Bonus
learning.
points.
Oh,
Thank you. I appreciate those.
Fredrik is gonna call out to y'all. Is like, when you all go to the courier, if you don't mind, please check to see if a letter has arrived for me.
Oh, I already went.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you paused as you realized you had to pay for the courier and then decided to first check
Never mind.
Willow's room.
Yes, I will do that. I thought I had already went, and then like when I was handing over the money, because I, as a human being, don't realize things until I'm actually doing them.
That's fair, but I think Astrid might have that mental acuity.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so Komrik had 2 successes with the reminder that you have +2 to investigation.
Yep, and I wrote it down this time.
Very good. Astrid?
I has none.
Still
They
none.
were all
Okay,
1s, 2s, and 3s.
look, I tried to help you, okay? I'm trying. Komrik, however, you, Astrid is like tearing through things, oddly enough, still giggling to herself from time to time. You're not entirely sure what is so funny, but it probably has to do with the fact that she's still sweating. And she's moderately disorganized in her search, but you're a pretty disciplined, meticulous person on a good day. There haven't been a lot of good days lately, but in general, you start from the beginning and then work your way through it. And as you're looking through Rollo's pack, that is very much how he has organized his belongings. And it doesn't take you very long to realize, A, there is no money. So either the society trade's on credit or it is still on his person. And B, you find his personal journal.
Oh.
Does Astrid notice this?
No.
Damn it.
So he's just gonna grab the backpack and put it over his shoulder. All right, Astrid. I'll leave you to it. It seems like you're deep in this search here, but I don't think we're gonna find anything.
Okay. I guess we'll just figure it out.
And he's gonna head back to his room and make sure nobody's there and start flipping through the journal.
It is a very thin journal. You have the feeling that, we're not talking like leather-bound tomes. We're talking like those thin little booklets you used to use for workbooks in school. Judging by the date and the intro page, apparently Rollo just starts a new tiny journal for interesting events and then sorts them together in larger volumes later. So this one particularly contains observations and opinions on your party.
Oh, I want.
Would you like to read them?
Oh, yes, I would. Of course, I would.
Such a messy group.
Astrid.
I kick my
Voracious
boots off
for
and put my
knowledge.
feet up.
Impulsive. First to dedicate self to society. Commits to action from too little information. Over-reliant on her foresight. Does not show the same level as for her investigations. Seeks to form bonds with those around her. Essential for survival. I get the sense that she views her lineage as an obstacle for doing society work, but she will learn that not all touched creatures draw the society's ire. Komrik. Friendly, sociable, trusting. While a breath of fresh air and desperately needed in the society, means that he could potentially be easily swayed, persuaded, or deceived if not careful. Haunted by past, which could get in the way in the face of urgency. His military background is potent. Would be a boon if it doesn't trigger the past trauma. Eager to learn about the site and Vaesen. Quick learner. I do not doubt that he will appease Vaesen he comes across. Linnea. Seeks thrills and experience. Favors boldness over rationale. Instigates drama to get a reaction. Her proclivity and entitlement leads to this ambition that could be a liability to her, but more so those around her. Coming from wealth will be useful on missions with higher caste requests. Her connection to Fredrik worries me. See notes on Fredrik with a little asterisk.
Nice.
She is diligent with notes and quick to action. High potential for both success and demise. Has a gun. Fredrik. Imposing, discerning, and unafraid of getting his hands dirty. These are traits that are valuable. However, what we know about Fredrik is concerning, and it will get in the way of our purpose. This is inevitable. But he is tied to Linnea. I do not believe he took the oath sincerely. This is not my concern. But Artemis herself. It is my utmost hope that he is able to reconcile his loyalty to Linnea and the society. And after that, it's just a bit of a travel journey. Very casual. These were all written by Kappa in character after meeting your characters.
Really?
I enjoy this more than life itself.
That makes me so happy.
Fantastic.
I go ahead and put the journal back in the backpack, and then I put that on. I'm gonna take my duster off. I'm actually gonna put the backpack on and then put the duster on, covering the backpack.
Bulge.
Yeah, like a hunchback, but it's fine.
No one will be able to tell there's a backpack.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's much in it, right? So it's kind of empty.
Yeah, he traveled very light.
Okay.
Very practical. Like very everything's basically multi-purpose. You know, not one of those people that goes camping and buys a lot of things that only do one thing, but everything can be used for several options. And a change of clothes.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and find Fredrik.
He's outside of Linnea's door still.
Oh, just standing there? Oh, that's. So I put on my boots and I go back outside and, hey, Fredrik, it seems like the ladies are not thinking through on all their cylinders here. So what's your thoughts on this whole thing? Should we go seek Leelo, or should we go talk to the Lord here about his child?
You really want my thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, you are the one that made the good call about getting Rollo to the good doctor. So yeah, I do think that.
Well, my thoughts are we should all turn back immediately and stop this, whatever this is. I have indulged Miss Linnea enough, and it is high time we get back to reality.
Fredrik, you and I know that she's not going to let this one go. So we can sit here and we can pretend like we have a choice on going back, but she's going to want to do this. So if that's the case, what's your decision here?
Not asking for what would happen, you asked me for my opinion.
You're right. Maybe I should have rephrased that.
Perhaps.
I think we can get a lot of stuff accomplished with our individual.
Yes. But that would also entail us not waving guns around in people's faces.
We'll keep that in mind.
You best hope that the young man does not seek out the constable.
We're already outsiders to this island, and I'm not trying to cause any rifts, but...
And yet you pulled a gun on a local.
I mean, how am I supposed to get him to stop?
You could ask.
Oh, I asked, and I bribed. And I don't have much, as you can tell. That was my last resort, and I'll guarantee you that violence will always be my last resort.
Considering that your last resort was to stop the treatment of Mr. Rollo. Just know that I do not hold your opinion in very high esteem at this moment.
I didn't think anything. I didn't think anything different.
Are we done here?
I suppose so. Linnea. Miss Linnea knocks on the door.
Yes? 1 minute. You hear just like an absolute like clattering of something. It could be a dresser door or a drawer. It could be a like a closet door. It could be anything. It's loud. It's messy. And some light swearing. And then a moment later, she pulls the door open. Much better than before. Cleaner. Like there's only just like a little bit of a smudge here and maybe here. Her hair's up, but it's a little frazzled.
Let's say you did it yourself in current circumstances without, like, normally you have like a maid who helps you.
Yeah.
So it's a little, it's a really good try.
Yeah. And
It's basically like it's fine as long as you can see it yourself, and then the back looks like the pins are just sort of holding on for dear life.
yeah. So
You open the door to seeing Komrik and Fredrik like staring at each other.
hi.
Miss Linnea, before heading out, we will have a discussion.
But you're not the one that knocked on my door. What are you wanting, Mr. Komrik?
Well, I was just wondering, I asked Fredrik here whether or not he wanted to go see the Lord and his child, or go find Leelo. Sounds like he would rather do neither. So I was wondering if maybe you had an opinion on where we should go next.
I do.
And that's what I figured. But I'll let you guys have your talk first.
Oh, must you?
I'll meet you downstairs. I'm sure you guys can figure it out, and I'll be waiting.
We won't be but a minute.
Or
He
10.
turns on his heels and walks down.
Fredrik, my dear, come in.
Thank you.
She closes the door to try and block anyone else from hearing what's about to happen.
Are there more than beds in here, or just beds? Are there chairs?
You have like one of those uncomfortable looking chairs that's mainly for putting your clothing on that you're not quite sure needs to be washed yet, but also can't be folded again. And then there's a writing desk and an actual chair.
Right, Fredrik could pull out the chair for the writing desk, gesture to Miss Linnea.
She'll sit.
And he'll get down to one knee just so they could be eye level. Like, now, Miss Linnea, shall we discuss what happened today?
I think it's safe to say that nothing really went as planned. There were surprises all around.
Care to elaborate on that?
Well, I don't think any of us expected the church to try and kill Rollo. That was a surprise. And I think that no one expected Leelo to disappear. No one expected a secret room in the floor of a mausoleum. That was terrible and awful, but also kind of educational. Really, I mean, it was a thorough learning experience.
Yes. Well, as I recall things, Mr. Rollo was indeed injured. By whom, we do not know. We can make assumptions.
I'm just
I
saying, he
believe-
was bloody, the priest was bloody. It's right here in my notes.
Yes. And you know, when you come upon problems, that I have requested that you bring them to me instead of
My notes?
immediately jumping to conclusions.
I can barely
It's
read my
not-
notes, Fredrik. I don't know why you would want them.
No, I'm not worried about your notes, just your suspicions.
Oh, my problems. Yes. Yes. I will allow that perhaps things are a bit more serious here in Arnsberg. Close enough? than originally suspected. And perhaps a bit more caution on my part is called for. She's studying his face. Is this what he wants to hear? I'm not saying she's she's like this is she's
I mean, he's very much in the I understand what you're saying, but
I do also know what he wants her to say.
and he's like, can you explain to me why you decided to hinder any medical treatment to Mr. Rollo? I was under the impression that you were favorable towards him.
Of course. Oh, he's a dear. What a sweet old man. No, I just... Everything was terrifying. It was so dark down there and so scary. And then I just... my head got muddled and it just... It was hard to know who was for and against him.
Yes, you know you do not have to pretend to cry around me.
Yeah. But still, it was terribly scary. I did have quite a turn.
Okay.
You know how I feel in, like, the dark.
Yes, I'm sure that was quite a scene, that you were given quite the fright. That is completely understandable given the circumstances. But concerning everything else...
Why does it always sound sarcastic when you say
Now, I do not claim to understand a young maiden's heart. But just be wary of how much you take Miss Astrid's lead. She may be fine for a little dalliance, but she is not the type to bring home, let's just say.
Fredrik, first of all, we're not going home just yet. Second of all, we're all in this together. You, me, Astrid, Komrik. Maybe not Tate. But we're gonna figure out what's going on here. Mr. Rollo is getting care one way or another. And you know, I think we're all doing a little bit better now. So
Sure.
also, you look awful. Are you feeling okay?
He ignores the question. At the moment, I am not going to inform your parents of what had happened. But do know that I am nearing the end of how much I will humor your outbursts and unnecessary, let's call them investigations.
Oh, Fredrik, I knew I could count on you.
If you want to be a woman on your own, you must show that you can do it.
But I'm still
and that
supposed
means
to come to you
holding
with all my
yourself
problems.
up to a higher standard. You must know when you need to rely on others' help. And do not think that you can go solving everything yourself.
Oh, I really hate it when you have good advice.
There will come a day when I cannot help you. But I will always do the best I can. But I cannot do that if you do not tell me what is on your mind.
Well, right now, I think that we need to talk to the originator of this case. And that's not going to happen while we're still sitting here in the tavern.
Yes, we will get to that in due time. But for now, just tell me who you are having problems with, and we will see what can be done with it.
I mean, probably that priest covered in blood.
Anyone else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All those sailors on the ship were very nice. Nobody said anything untoward to me at all. That I heard.
And I will make sure to keep it that way. Okay. Well, this conversation has hopefully been fruitful.
Does that mean it's over?
Unless you would like to talk about something else.
Nope, I'm good. Maybe a little beer bread and on to the next thing. With caution, with forethought, with communication.
I guess just one final passing word of advice. Try not to drink too much and find yourself in a stupor at all times while investigating.
I
It
will
is
allow that was
unbecoming.
a bit much for medicinal purposes. I will probably not be doing that again.
I'm glad to hear it.
I don't think you can get drunk on beer bread, for the record.
Do not try to, is all I'm saying.
No, I get sick when I eat too much bread. It's so heavy, it just like sits on your stomach.
Right.
She
Well,
stands
go ahead.
up and
Run
starts
along.
to sidle towards the door.
I will tidy up your room for when you get back.
Of course. I'll be downstairs.
Yeah, no, this room looks trashed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Linnea tried on everything twice, not necessarily in the correct order.
No.
Hairpins everywhere still.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's like sand.
Crunchier.
And I will clean up Miss Linnea's everything. And then also, while I'm cleaning, just happen to look at Miss Astrid's stuff since it's the same room.
Roll investigation.
All right, investigation. I'm really bad at that. So, which one was that? Logic?
Yep, that's logic. Any successes?
I keep my crystal ball on me, by the way.
So just describe what Astrid would have left behind in plain view.
In plain view.
Or, like, not just in plain view, like, he's going through your drawers and bag.
He would find clothes.
I wouldn't be ruffling through anything, just whatever's surface level.
He would find clothes, maybe 1 or 2 books, probably some type of herb, but that's about it.
Titles of the books, please.
They would all be books. What would she be interested in right now? One would be a children's book. Whatever common, like whatever would be a children's book right now. Oh shit. would you open the book?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, never mind then. And one would be, I don't know, a book about plants or something along those lines.
I'll say your children's book is Daisies and Raindrops. Because that was published in the year we're playing. So that would be your newest acquisition. Okay. Speaking of Astrid, you are well on your way to what is colloquially known as a post office. To send a letter. That's such a novel concept. Are you going straight there?
Yes.
Okay. Fairly easy to find. People can point you in the correct direction, and it has a sign, magically.
Ooh, they're very efficient. It's almost like this is their job.
Who knew?
Who knew? I just go in. If there's a line, I wait in it. Like, I'm not doing anything real crazy.
I am proud of you. There is a brief wait while someone who is, because in this, we're earning our educational tag again. Not everyone's literate necessarily in these times, so what you could also do is pay extra at the post office and have someone write your letter for you. So you're waiting for someone to finish dictating their letter for it to be sent. You can also pay extra to go to an office and have someone read a letter you received to you. So once that is done, it is your turn at the desk.
She goes up and she tells them who the letter's for and where it's going. Before she left, she would have asked someone there what Leelo's Inn was called so she could put the actual name of the inn on there.
Leelo actually told you herself as well. It is the Tuliac Inn.
Tuliac Inn. Okay. And she gives that to the postman and asks for rush service and hands over the money and goes, also, a Fredrik, and she says his full name, asked me to see if there was a letter here for him.
You are handed a folded piece of paper.
A folded piece of paper. Is it sealed in any way?
Yes, it has a nice little seal on it that is recognizable to you as Linnea's house crest.
Okay.
It doesn't have like a nice fancy envelope, but it's like folded in 3 and then sealed.
Okay. She's going to...
there is a surcharge, not for the rush, but because you're sending something to Kali Village.
Oh. Well, I guess. Do you need
an additional
more
silver piece?
Very well. And she'll hand it over.
She sort of shrugs at you and goes, "Toll roads."
Understandable. How long will it take you to get there? And if they do write back immediately, say, how long should I come back and check?
Let me check, because I know how long it is by carriage, but a sturdy pony actually can go faster than a carriage. Hour and a half to get there.
Okay.
If they they'll be pushing the horse.
Okay. And how late are you open? The earliest I could expect a response and be able to pick it up reasonably.
We usually close after before the evening meal.
Before the evening meal. Very well. If I have time, I will come back and check in a little bit.
Take some of your information down so they know who it's for.
Yes. And if not, I will come first when you open. And I assume that's
when the boats go out.
When the boats go out. Perfect. Thank you so much for your help.
They sort of awkwardly look at you, waiting for you to walk away.
Have a lovely day. and she
Same to
like
you.
turns and walks. She's going to take that letter of Frederick's that she has, and she's actually going to stick it in the knife holster that she has on her ankle. And walk back to the inn. And
at the inn, you can see Linnea is downstairs with, by now, meeting up with Komrik as Fredrik is finishing up in Linnea's room.
Astrid's going to sit down, pull out the letter, hand it to Linnea, and go, "It seems that you and Fredrik got a letter from your parents."
Oh. I don't think I was expecting anything. Is it explicitly addressed to Fredrik?
It is.
I mean, it's my crest.
I mean, that's why I assumed it was for both of you. And I am in no way trying to stir up trouble, says Kayla out of character.
No, I mean...
You would never.
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 I mean, servants don't have privacy, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, she'll just pop that seal.
Okay.
But not, like, secretively, just, like, at the table.
Yeah, just matter-of-factly, because servants don't have privacy. That's why they get an extra pie at Christmas.
They get extra raisins. They get an extra pudding.
An extra pudding. My apologies. How dare I think servants deserve pie?
Nope.
My apologies.
Doesn't pudding mean any type of dessert? I thought it meant any type of dessert. Or is that just in England?
I didn't think pies qualified.
It also depends, because you can also have stuff like blood pudding, in which case you're giving someone something entirely different than what you're talking about. So
I know.
we could just leave it happily in the middle somewhere.
Okay.
Who knew this would be such a food educational show?
Did Linnea say
everyone.
servant out loud?
No.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
So
You've called him her servant. You've called him the help before even.
Well, he
Right,
is,
right.
but yeah, I wouldn't have to justify that because I would have believed it.
Like I said, it would have been a very matter-of-fact statement of fact and not justifying your decisions.
I might have said,
Mikyl wants to know if Komrik heard you say.
No, I would not have said that.
Okay.
No.
Because I'm just sitting there, just chilling, watching this whole thing as I'm drinking.
No. Linnea, that is built into her bones. There's no justification she needs to say out loud.
It's just the way it is, Sometimes there's just things in the world that are what they are.
She said Fredrik.
I felt moderately gross just saying that out loud. But
no. I even hated it. For the record, hashtag workers' rights.
No, absolutely. Unionize,
Everyone deserves privacy.
Go socialism. But for now, in character, you're reading Fredrik's letter.
And what does it say?
Because that is your God-given right.
It is.
It doesn't even start with a proper greeting. It just says Fredrik.
He's the help. Why would you?
In response to your inquiry.
Mikyl and I have been friends for over a decade. This is the end of it. I can feel it.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
But it's a very bare bones kind of report with in response to your inquiry regarding the von Kaiserlings, well-established family, well respected, but there's a little snarky side note where even if there was a scandal, they're so far away from the rest of polite society, people wouldn't even notice anyway. And then a few lines about how worried they are about how they recently consulted a professional about her moods. Notion of concern that your current adventure might sour one of the more enticing marriage prospects that they have been cultivating for you. And closing request to please share Frederick's insights to Linnea's mental well-being, and if there might be a need for treatment. The word hysteria is mentioned.
I assume there's some sort of fire. No. Linnea is going to pop off.
You roll me a
hysteria check.
well, no, let's just make it vigilance.
0. It's one word I have to remember, and I can't remember it to scroll up. Okay.
Astrid would also be watching for Frederick to come down.
Now that you're watching for Frederick, he's already there because he rolled real well on his stealth.
Oh.
There's a looming shadow over your shoulder. That is Frederick.
Am I still rolling vigilance?
No, I'm assuming Astrid's going to point him out to you.
She's going to look up at Frederick and go, "Oh, you got a letter. I made sure Linnea got it as well."
I'm going to rip off the crest and feed it to a goat. The letter, not the crest. I don't think wax is good for goats.
I mean, they're goats. I'm pretty sure they can eat anything and be fine.
If it, like, mechanically slows me down, I will not do it. But otherwise, I'm going to.
The goats will happily chomp on that letter.
Yes. I have a question. Does Linnea look upset about this?
It's been a really long day. I think she's got, like, a processing face on. Probably.
Then I say it as snarky. Then I meant to say it as snarky as I did.
Perfect. She's got a little bit of a sour. Yeah.
Yep. If Linnea looks upset, I say it as snarky as I did. If she doesn't, I go, "Oh, I made sure Linnea got the letter that you got from her parents."
And you said you fed it to the goats?
As she's looking at you, it is going into a goat unless you want to intervene.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stop that.
Okay.
Ash's gonna reach up.
I'm gonna assume you can. No, Frederick is a big hulking man. You can handle a. Well, maybe not handle a goat, but you can at least get the letter away from the goat. You're holding a slightly slimy letter.
I feel like Komrik is like watching like a tennis match, like going back and forth.
Metaphorical popcorn appears before you.
Yeah, and no, the beer bread is going down. Yeah, oh yeah.
That's the good stuff.
So I'll just fold it, put it into my pocket, turn to Linnea and go, "So what did the letter say?"
You can read. To the von Kaiserlings, then.
Sounds like an excellent idea. What do you think, Komrik?
Well, yeah, sure. I've been asking everybody what their opinion is, and it doesn't seem like anybody's made a decision, so I'll go wherever we need to go.
Then I say we go where Linnea wants to go.
It just logically is the next closest stop, right?
Seems perfectly reasonable to me. Astrid is playing backup Mean Girl right now.
I love her for it.
Playing, please. You're just showing them your true form.
It's so fetch.
Frederick is just gonna be like,
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
What? God.
Miss
Love your
Linnea,
bracelet, so vintage. Anyway, Frederick, we're saying before we took a Mean Girl detour, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Frederick's just gonna be like, Miss Linnea, I just reminding you to keep our conversation at the forefront of your mind. And do know that I will do whatever I can to make sure that I am making the best decisions for your best outcome.
Yes, I think I know whose side you're on. Thank you. And she's just gonna get up and, I mean, she'll make sure there's like money on the table or whatever, but actually no, because Frederick would be paying for things. Right, I don't know how that works. However, traditionally it has gone.
You're a woman, you don't carry money.
Dope. Love that for me.
Traditionally. Like Astrid does, because she's lower class. Linnea would.
Well, no, because I would be like, because I
Either
have...
Frederick pays for you, or they know who you are, and the bill will appear at your parents' house.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. They can bill my parents.
You might get a scolding from your dad at the end of the month when they do the books.
I might have cared up until like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, there you go.
If there's bread on the table, Ashley's gonna grab it.
Don't
as
be
they leave.
hysterical.
Oh, there is no more bread on the table.
Thanks,
Okay.
Komrik.
You see crumbs
You're
on
welcome.
Komrik's face. There is no more bread.
Ashley's going to try and snag something to grab to eat on the way there, so that I'm not penalized for not having eaten at all.
I mean, are you saying that hardship tests are not your favorite?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, smart. Fine. You can get more food.
Okay.
That's doable.
Just something
It
that's
is?
handheld.
You can definitely tell, though, that there is things that were made when Leelo was still here and things that are being made now, that the quality has taken a nosedive.
Do I still see her nephews there?
No.
Okay, so no one is there that we've previously encountered.
I mean, some of your old drinking buddies from the beer relay are there, but none of the staff.
Gotcha.
You recognize one sailor that probably puked on your shoes at some point.
Just because I'm having Ryotama flashbacks, I will also make sure. Like Linnea would have
Make
either.
It sound like you had a bad time playing Ryotama with me.
I had a wonderful time. It's just constant stress. Constant stress.
That's every game with me. That's not just Ryotama.
That's true. There's a reason I asked if you were the queen of terror and tears, or whatever I asked. Horror and tears.
Queen of Horror and Tears. I need new business cards with like gold embossed.
Yeah, she probably would have eaten before Astrid got back.
Smart.
But I'm making that clear that she's like soaking up the whiskey in her system.
Very good. All right. So you're heading towards the Von residence. Considering you no longer have a friendly coach driver with a coach, I'm assuming you're...
Unless we can like call one, like hail one. But I'm fine walking. That seems not accurate.
Oh, it's a good... Oh, I can't do math. Roll 20 is in feet, and the map is in meters. And it is killing me.
Americans.
I don't think...
650 times 200. It's about a kilometer. No, it's a little more than a kilometer. So even if you're slow, it's half an hour.
Okay. That feels better.
What time of day is it?
40 minutes if you get lost. We're getting into late afternoon, considering your lack of focus. I was trying to be nice, but no. Late afternoon.
Well, it sounds like we're going for a walk. I want to be, as long as, just making notes of all the places that we're going by and kind of looking out for anything that looks suspicious, especially with the way that we left the sanitarium or the church.
Okay. Roll vigilance.
One, 3, and a 4. That ain't gonna get me anything. All right.
You are looking around as you're walking through Adamsburg. Again, yeah, looking around for like people that may have been in the congregation that are now catching on to you. But that is not what catches your attention. There is yet again a rather shady already sounds like I'm assigning intense. But that same slim character in that hooded cloak is not necessarily following you, but it does appear in your surroundings more often than what makes sense. Like, it's not like if you look behind you, it's not like they're literally trailing you, but you notice them not once, not twice, but like 4 times over the course of this walk. And somehow, at first they're behind you, but then they're in front of you or off to your left, and they're not tracing your steps, but they are always near you somehow. Absolutely. You don't see any humans you're concerned about.
So the third time that I see it, I nudge Astrid and I said, "You see that over there? You see the hooded figure?"
Do I see the hooded figure?
Definitely.
Yes, I do.
All right, I was just trying to make sure that's that I wasn't going crazy or that I wasn't seeing things.
Most people are going crazy at all times, but I get your point. Who
He
are
gives
they?
an odd look at Astrid, and yeah, good point. That was the figure that I followed when we were at the sanitarium. Just seems to come popping up all over the place as we're walking there. But he clocks it. He takes note of it, but I mean, he's not going to follow. We're on a mission.
All right. I was about to say, pull up to the von Karseling residence, but no, you walk up to the von Karseling residence. Linnea trying very hard to look ladylike, despite the fact that you show up on foot. It is like their house is at the edge of Adamsburg Castle Park. You can see the castle walls from where you're approaching this building. It is a rather lovely stone building. It has a really nice garden with hollyhocks that climb across the stone walls that surround it. You can just walk through the gates up to the front door. There's no giant iron gate bar in your path.
Is there anyone that we see, like any staff that might be out there?
Not outside. I mean, there's some gardeners, but they're not like on the path to the front door. They're much farther away, tending rather struggling rose garden. Like, this area isn't necessarily not very conducive to roses, but damn it, they're trying.
Well, it looks like we're here. Who wants to knock?
Linnea
Astrid.
will without saying anything. Oh.
Nope.
She's on a mission now.
Right. You knock on the front door, and like, this is Hugo von Kaiserling is a count. You would expect well-trained staff, and yet it takes a while before someone comes to open the door. And as this front door opens, you hear the sounds of someone crying hysterically. A man's voice shouting in what most of you would recognize as Latin. And just general stress in the rest of the servants.
Is it
The harried looking man that opens the door just tries to smooth his face into like the proper butler mask. Now is not a good time. Leave your calling card, please. And holds out a silver platter for your card.
We've been summoned.
I certainly. Please
Although,
leave your calling card.
Linnea will absolutely already be pulling out like her best business card.
The one with proper calligraphy, not
Yeah.
one of the latter ones.
Yeah, like the third one she did. Like once she got the like ink flowing in her hand, like yeah.
Yep, and before you decided you ran out of room at the end.
Yeah.
He takes the card, puts it on the plate with a nice white gloved hand. Makes a little...
From the
Perhaps
society.
tomorrow.
No.
Yes, perhaps tomorrow. And you hear this wailing sound coming from deeper inside the building. As you can hear now, is not a good time.
Is it the baby crying? Can we tell if it's the baby crying?
I mean, I was about to say there would be a very loud baby, but there are very loud babies.
There are.
It could be a baby crying. You're not sure.
The Count is expecting us.
The Count is indisposed. He is with Father Cornelius right now. And he just starts closing the door.
Komrik's gonna put his foot in the door, making sure that it doesn't shut. He's gonna say, listen, sir, we're here to help, and Lord von Kaiserling had sent for us specifically to help out the young Edward.
Count.
So,
elbow.
Linnea hisses that, like, Count. It's fine.
So either we go inside or we just wait out here until he gets back. But I don't think he's going to be too happy about having his guests sitting out here in the dark.
People Count von Kaiserling called upon to assist. Well, you're a little late, then, aren't you?
Things happen.
He moves the door slightly to the side. You see a woman come running down the hallway. Just distraught. I hesitate to overuse the word hysterical, but that does seem to be the most accurate description of her mental state. Dressed quite nicely, like not nice enough to be a member of the family. Blonde hair tucked away under a little bonnet. Probably, compared to the ladies in your group, a bit older, like 30-ish. She just comes hurling towards you and goes, "You're here to help. He's performing an exorcism. I don't think this is right." And that's where we're going to go to break. Because it's 2025 and my dogs are barking.
Get some water, stretch, pet your pets. We will be back in 10-ish.
I'll pet that pet.
You do it.
Okay.
We'll see you soon, friends.
10-ish. Bye. Thank you for the dramatic pause for captions. That's really how you recognize a true impression. Welcome back to Vaesen, where everything's fine and nobody's dying. We left our intrepid heroes, and I use that term very lightly, in the midst of a rather chaotic household where there are women crying and babies wailing and butlers trying to shoot you back out the door. At the front door, we see Linnea, Fredrik, and Komrik as they are entering this house. Again, this blue-haired woman came storming down a staircase, shouting at you about something to do with an exorcism.
Ma'am, can you take us to the small child now?
She just looks at you, wide-eyed, turns back around, and just takes off again. You're assuming you can follow her.
Yeah. I push past the. I give a shoulder to the butler.
Shoulder check the butler.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
He goes flying. He's not used to physical harm.
Oh, sorry about that, sir. Everybody, let's go.
Linnea will immediately follow.
Fredrik?
I pick the butler back up.
Much appreciated.
That's a flex.
Respect.
Alright, you hurtle after this woman who is tearing up these really quite nice stairs. It's a fairly low building. It's not even necessarily huge, but she runs towards what is the nursery. As you're running, you can tell that the earlier sort of droning noise in Latin that you heard has stopped. But there is still a fair amount of yelling.
And it's through a door.
Yes.
Komrik's gonna attempt to open the door with the handle. Is it locked?
It opens.
Okay.
You see the nursery is in disarray. The curtains are blowing, the windows are open, the crib is turned over, and Father Cornelius is consoling a man dressed in very fancy clothes, shoulder-length light brown hair, rather slender build, who is basically crying into his shoulder.
Do we see a child shape anywhere?
Roll investigation.
Can we all do this?
Yes.
Okay. I got 2 6s.
With that many dice, I'm disappointed, but I also got 2 6s.
You do not see anything child-shaped. You do notice there are some tears in some of the curtains. Father Cornelius is holding a Bible. There's like a little bowl that contains what most of you would recognize as blessed or holy water.
If they're busy, I'd like to go to the window. Is it open?
Yes.
Is there anything out there?
You see Astrid in the garden. Looking towards the window you were out facing out of.
Seeing Linnea do that, Komrik is gonna just take a step inside, in between, and try to get next to her, making sure that they're still busy, but keeping an eye on both.
Fredrik?
Just going to scope the room.
You can overhear I know you all hate him, but Father Cornelius is very much being a good soothing shoulder, or again, who you assume is Hugo. Just consoling him that he couldn't have known. Not his fault. No man can withstand the devil's influence. His faith is strong. Behind you, you hear / see that blue-haired lady that you saw earlier. I say lady, she's clearly not noble by demeanor and dress, but she sort of sinks to the ground on her knees, clinging to the doorway. Where did he go? She will. My Swedish not good. My name Aino. Nurse Edward.
You're doing really well. What else can you tell me? Tell me about Edward.
After Edward, again, I nurse Edward, but he too big. Already had teeth. Was already grasping things, but too young. They did not get the child blessed early. So he was not unsafe from evil. I asked Agnes to protect Edward. I wanted. I'm born here. We use rooms to protect. I was going to put rooms on his pillow or when he sleeps. But Agnes said no, no superstitions, and asked the father to come. He would he said he would be here next day. But in the night, Agnes went mad and tried to drown Edward. I found her in the sauna over the wash tub, holding Edward.
Where is he now?
I left him in this room. She points at Father Cornelius. He was shouting and waving book.
Komrik's going to turn towards them, both the father and gentlemen, we're here to help from the society. Where is the child?
Hugo turns to you. Whatever just fled my house was not my child, and I don't know where he is.
So, I want to be considerate of your feelings. Sounds like there was something that traumatically happened here recently. Maybe we could go downstairs.
Recently traumatic? It grew a tail, climbed on the ceiling, and fled through a window. Yes, I would say something weird and traumatic happened here recently. Also, I sent for you days ago.
Yes, we had a situation, Mr. Rollo, who you sent that letter to.
Yes. Where is he? Perhaps he can deal with this.
He's been critically injured. So we had to attend to that. So I do apologize for our tardiness. However, we got here as soon as we could. I think maybe we should talk when we have cooler heads, and maybe we can make sense of this and find your young child and bring him back. Whatever happened to him, maybe we can assist.
At this point, Father Cornelius begins to step in and goes, please. I've seen you around. I've met some of your party. I don't think your assistance is required any longer. There is clearly dark magic at work here, and none of you seem particularly suited to deal with this. I will assist Count von Kaiserling.
Yes, Father, I see that you see fit to make sure that you are the one dealing with all these issues, but you weren't able to help in this situation. And
I exposed evil. It fled before the might of Christ. His house is cleansed and safe.
Linnea's going to turn back to the nurse and just say, I don't know anything about that. Let's get you some water, okay? Can you take me to the kitchen?
We're going to distract her and usher her to the kitchen.
Maybe we could usher each other, because I have no idea where the kitchen is.
That's fair.
Yes.
Can you roll me a manipulation?
Nothing would please me more.
And other than getting her away from the father, is there anything in particular you're looking to get from her?
I would like to get more information, if I can. And empathy. 4, 5, which means 3.
Hang on, I have to grab her stat blocker she can roll against you.
What was that?
I think trying to see if she falls. I'm trying to see if she falls for it.
Well, and I do. Does it help if I like genuinely want to like calm her and like this is a like we have both been through completely different but equally shitty experiences.
You've both had really shitty days.
I'm very sympathetic.
Yeah. Are you bargaining because you already rolled badly?
No, I've not rolled yet.
Okay. I'll give you a +1 because you are, for the most part, genuine.
Bless.
Like, you still want something from her, but your concern is real.
Thank you. 1, 6.
Well, we're tied. She will be ushered by you to the kitchen, or at least show you the way as you make the appropriate soothing noises. I want to briefly leave the scene in the nursery and go to Astrid, who snuck away at the front door with a successful stealth check, she texted me. Astrid, would you like to describe what's been going on with you?
While no one was paying attention, slipped back and went through the back door, went through the back trying to find a servant's entrance. And while in the garden, I saw what I recognized as a troll baby, and I'm currently wondering if I can track it.
Yes. We were going to talk about that part indeed.
Oh! Don't ask me to say things unless you...
It's fine. I mean, I was kind of assuming you were going to... Yeah, it's fine.
I never said anything. I don't know what I said. I'm drunk. I've been drinking. Don't listen to me. Hi.
You had one seltzer. You've hardly been drinking.
Astrid is in the backyard. She is contemplating heading towards the woods.
For reasons.
Reasons that no one knows.
Alright. Heading towards the woods for reasons. I mean, you can easily go to the woods. That's not tricky. You did notice Linnea notice you from the nursery window.
If I noticed Linnea, I would make a sign like, keep them busy.
Is your sign as accurate as when you said, I'm going to go get flowers?
I'm going to give her a thumbs up and then a keep going. Keep going.
Linnea, roll a learning check. And see if you can put the pieces together of what Astrid is signing to you.
Take up spin. Oh my god.
Thank you, Toby.
Can we have the other Linnea roll for her? I feel like she might have better learning.
Other Linnea is like way the fuck back in Uppsala. She's not even in the same country as you are.
It never hurts to ask.
It's true, it's true.
This Linnea...
Actually, no, that's not true. Sometimes people ask me things and then I do make it worse for them. So that is not a factual statement when I'm the DM.
Okay.
This Linnea is realizing that at some point, she and Astrid are going to have to sit down and have a little conversation about hand signals and words meaning things, because she rolled 2 1s and 2 2s.
So Astrid is a fair distance away as well. You can see her sort of trying to sign something, and she might be getting more flowers. That or the butler did close the door in front of her face and she got locked out. You're not sure what she's trying to communicate with you.
I know this is kind of a flash, but like Linnea would kind of do another thumbs up, like, yeah, totally got that.
Yep, latent lie, beautiful.
Yep.
Astrid's going to assume.
Picking flowers motion.
Astrid is now concerned.
Sounds about right. All right. Heading towards the woods. I'm looking at the map. Can you be a little more specific?
Well, so I'm heading in the direction of whatever.
I'm gonna move the Roll20 from the town map to the local map, and you can tell me which way you're going.
Okay, but which way did I see the thing head?
I mean, you saw it disappear over the roof of the building, and that's when it went out of sight.
Okay.
Probably east northish. Northeast-ish. Split the difference.
Astrid's gonna start heading that way, and then she's going to pause. And she's going to freeze. And she's going to look for a secluded location.
I mean, you are still in the center of Adamsburg. So unless you can hide in someone's garden shed or squish yourself into alleyways.
No, I mean, before I leave the von Kaiserling property, I'm going to freeze.
Okay.
And
the offer of the garden shed stands, and other than that, the direction you're heading in is towards those darling looted gardeners who are trying to make Rose Garden grow in a questionable island in Estonia.
I'm going to go into the garden shed and pull out the blood that I have from the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about the knowledge that I currently have, I'm going to find a secluded corner and use my crystal ball. No show, no nothing, because it's just me.
Yeah, no showboating.
Yes.
All right, roll for your magic.
It's been a very long time. Three sixes.
So as you hold your crystal ball and focus on Agnes's blood, you are pulled into a vision, a very familiar feeling for you at this point. And just as you're getting this sense of recognition of great vision, this is what I'm used to, it changes. And it feels like you're being torn apart. And it seems like you're looking in two different directions. And, I mean, you're a smart person. You quickly figure out that you're looking at two possibilities for the future. And on the one hand, you see Agnes and Hugo and this adorable little baby with brown curls in their sitting room in the house in front of you, happily back together again with your group on their way back to the harbor. Job well done, mission shifts and it turns and it changes and becomes just a little more green and blue and dark. And you see a village burning with Father Cornelius silhouetted in the flames. And you see Agnes being moved to a mental hospital in a city far away from here, never to return to this island that she was born on. And just before this vision ends and you're pulled back into your body, you watch Hugo tie a rope, get on a short stool, and hang himself in his child's nursery.
Was there any indication, anything in the vision that told me where I needed to look next? And given my past history, and given that everybody already knows, I am a changeling.
In those fires that were lighting up around Father Cornelius, you saw a blonde man with a tail. You saw a flash interspersed of Leelo's skirts. You saw a sign that said Tuliac Inn.
Okay. Astrid's going to stand up, dust off her skirts, and do the first, probably really smart thing she does, and go out to the front and wait for the others to come out.
And we will move back to the others who are blissfully unaware of some of the stakes we are currently dealing with. Linnea, you're guiding this nursemaid as she is leading you to the kitchens.
And I'm just, like maybe arm in arm, kind of patting hers. Also kind of grateful to have somebody not in my immediate group and Fredrik to like absolutely like not rely on, but just like be able to take a moment with, even if like we're both absolutely stressed to the max.
Yeah, it's this strange bond with someone who is as upset as you are, if for slightly different reasons, without the baggage and the judgment that might be coming from the rest of the group. By baggage, I also mean potential romantic entanglements and the best for your goal.
Let's see. There's
How captions, bag of trash is not like
I'll pat her arm, I'll get her into the kitchen and see if I can get her. I would probably get myself a glass of water as well. Just why not? Is there anyone? Obviously, if there's a servant in here, I would.
There are several servants in here.
In which case?
In a kitchen. Who knew?
Oh, good. Well, I didn't know with like the to do if people had like fled or were going on as.
In general, there's the brief moment of panic before, the heads of household, like the people who run both back of the house and front of the house, sort of slap sense into everyone and just go keep working until you're specifically told otherwise.
In which case, if I can get water without being in anyone's way, I would just do that.
They kind of clock you as a lady. So one of the chambermaids insists on you sitting down and fetching you water.
Oh, that's fine. I will sit next to the nurse then, and once the maid has gone off again, how to say this? How much time did you spend with Edward before he changed?
Most of his life, I am his nurse.
Did you sleep in the same room? Did he sleep?
I slept room next to his, and then if he cried, I went in.
Was there anything strange the night he changed? The night that Agnes wouldn't let you put runes out?
He never changed until today. He was normal. He was happy. A little big and a little... The teeth, they hurt when I nurse, you know?
Grew too fast.
Yes.
But today, he only changed because of the father. Or did he change before?
Because of the cross.
Is there... Going to be honest, I kind of just want to sit here and take a breath. Do you want some smelling salts? You don't seem very upset anymore, but they're pretty good.
Feel pain.
Okay. They still smell pretty good.
You smell very pretty.
Oh, thank you. She's gonna pull out her notes. Make a few little references from what the nurse has. What is your name? Iona? And
I know.
I know. What about the father? Had he thought Edward had changed?
He said Edward was evil. No, not born evil, but became possessed.
But only Agnes acted on that.
Yes.
Okay. Have you met her doctor?
No.
Have you seen her since?
I have not. I've been here with Edward. I have no time to. They said best if she not visit or see Edward.
If we're able to find Edward, do you know what we should do? I mean, I don't have much experience with children of any sort, but
Eva, can you roll me an observation?
Yee. No. Yes. 1, 4. You think I'd remember these numbers? But I don't.
I mean, why do you need to remember numbers when they're on your sheet, right?
3 6s.
3 6s. Okay, so I know is she knows more than she's currently telling you,
Mm-hmm.
and she isn't necessarily hiding it from you, but she's shooting a lot of glances at the other staff in this kitchen.
Sure.
She would be capable and potentially willing to tell you much more if she wasn't surrounded by people that
Could
let's stick with the team could have her committed.
rat her out.
Yeah, get her fired. Put in a sanatorium. Put on the next boat off of Özel where she was born.
Okay. Feeling a little better? Do you want to maybe get some fresh air?
Air sounds wonderful.
We'll go out into the backyard or side yard or somewhere there's not people.
Yeah, fair. Heard about the room, but then outside. She, at least at the start, walks next to you rather quiet.
Have you been with the family long? This is their first child, right?
No, only since Edward was born. But I work many other families. I was born here, so I work with many families.
So, this Father Cornelius is rather new to you as well, right?
Yes. He's been here a few months. Him and Agnes, very close.
And that's probably why she wouldn't let you put the runes out, right?
He said they were superstition, but they work. Not superstition if it works.
I'm surprised you didn't try to sneak them under the pillow.
It was they protect. But all your questions are about the father, Cornelius. I think that she glances around again. I think that what happened is because of Edward's father.
What did he do or not do?
There are many fairy tales, stories, myths here. But sometimes some of a story can be true. And I think the Count wanted something. And I think everyone wisely made a deal.
He's a very good musician, is he not?
Very suddenly, yes. I think perhaps he broke an agreement.
Who would one go to make a deal such as that?
Perhaps one would go to the trolls that live to the north. According to legend, of course.
Of course.
Stories.
Um,
But one can trade with them and seek help from them, and if you treat them fairly, they, again, allegedly, are great. But if you break the agreement,
would
that's not
this
so nice.
legendary area perhaps... Did Leelo tell us exactly what she was, or just that she was Vaesen? Other...
I'm pretty sure Leelo mentioned that she's
Okay. I don't suppose this theoretical legendary area would be around a crater, would it?
I don't know about Crater. They have a village. Great parties.
Ah. All right. Will you be all right? Do you have somewhere to go that's not here, maybe? A friend or family that...
I go home to my children on Sunday.
What day of the week is it?
Not Sunday.
Maybe... I mean, there's no child in the house now, right? Maybe now's a good time to look in on yours.
Perhaps I should. Thank you for the water and the air.
Thank you for the conversation.
And she starts heading back into the house. Presumably to pack a few items.
Linnea will do a quick turnabout the garden and see if she sees Astrid or where Astrid went. I'm not even going to roll for it because it's getting dark and Linnea is like... She doesn't find Astrid. She is distracted.
I mean, it's fair. Okay.
Although-
Baker, you're getting a heap of text in chat, and then I want to go see what Fredrik and Komrik are up to.
Real super quick though, if she does happen to see a flower, even if it's not one of the like not growing roses, like she would grab that.
Yeah, like a much prettier looking local flower rather than a sad
Perfect.
pretend rose.
Yes.
Okay. You grab a flower. I really need to remake my little ship card. Right? Flower in hand. Fredrik and Komrik, what have you been up to?
Rick was just sizing up the priest.
The priest is he's currently splitting his attention between patting Hugo on the back and putting his stuff in the bag you saw him carrying when he left the church way earlier.
Now, good. Komrik's going to be still in the room, but he's going to address the Count. Good Count. I understand that that Rollo is your cousin. Is that correct?
Very distant. I was relying on his sense of propriety to come anyway.
Well, like the good father here said, he came across some of our troop here from the society, and it sounds like he didn't get a very good impression from them. But me personally, I'm a really good tracker. Fredrik here has his specialties. The thing is there a reason why we would find your distant cousin in the church, mortally wounded from a head wound? I just don't understand. And you're trying to tell me that you're going to take charge of this incident, but yet we find one of our constituents harmed on your grounds, Father.
That is an amazingly bold accusation.
I didn't make any accusations. I was asking questions.
You said there was a mortally wounded man found on the church grounds, and I have heard nothing of this. No constable has come to see me. I have not seen this Rollo you describe. I don't know what your play is.
So you've never had any contact with him?
Not with Rollo. I've met your young lady friend who has absconded with the nurse. I've seen your large friend shadowing her, quite obviously. And I've seen you in my church. And there was a rather eccentric-looking young woman with you as well.
He went to see me. I stayed out of the way.
Oh, he saw you.
I made a specific thing that I stayed out of the way.
And he saw you. Maybe
Okay.
not when you were first entering the church, but he has seen you at some point today. Your stealth isn't invaluable, Astrid.
Komrik.
You might be able to hide from your party members.
Is this really the time for this? Do we not have more pressing matters based off of what seems to have transpired here?
He doesn't break vision with the father. He's staring straight into the father's eyes, and he says, "Yes, Fredrik, we do have more pressing matters. You are correct. I'll let you to it. Good Lord, Father, we'll be on our way."
Father Cornelius just goes, "No, please, if you have business with the Count, I am on my way out."
I
He's
thought
finished. He's finished packing his bag. He's perfectly happy to leave you alone with Hugo von Kaiserling. He's heading out the door.
you tried to stop us from having that conversation earlier, and that's fine. What I'm saying is that we could either pool our resources and work together, or, work not so harmonious.
Again, I trust that the Lord stands beside me and gives me everything I need in power and knowledge. And I don't think any of you are proper Christians or follow the true path. And I would happily teach you and correct you and guide you home, but I too have more pressing matters. I do believe it is better if our ways part.
He reaches inside his shirt, fingering a necklace and pulling it above his shirt so that it pops out of his shirt. It's a silver necklace with a cross on it.
And he shows his more Coptic necklace. You know how different Christian denominations have opinions on what the correct way to make a cross is somehow. He has the Russian Orthodox one. He goes, it's close. A few key differences, I do believe. And as he's walking past you, he pats you on the shoulder with his left hand, leans in, and whispers, "You stink of the sea," and walks away.
I've noticed any of the things that he put into his bag.
There was the Bible, there was the little bowl that held the holy water, there was a book that is not a Bible. You can roll observation to see if you were quick enough to read the title of that.
Sure, why not?
I scroll down to look up the title of this book again because I told Rollo, but then
Observation, right?
He got axed. No. It had a Latin. It was definitely in Latin. But Komrik and Fredrik are left behind in what's left of the nursery with Hugo. Linnea is, I think at this point, you'd be getting back towards the front of the house where Astrid is.
Does the priest walk by Astrid?
I mean, he takes the front door and takes the garden path out, but that's not necessarily like you're not in tackling distance.
No. Just within hearing distance.
If you shout, yes.
Well, I was by the front door. I was waiting for them by the front door.
Fair enough. Then yes.
When she sees him emerge, she will look him dead in the eye and say, "For such men are false apostles, deceitful workmen, disguise themselves as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for Satan disguises himself as an angel of light." They profess to know God, but deny their work. They are detestable, disobedient, and unfit for any good work.
He looks at you and goes, "Rote understanding is different from memorization, young lady.
And being good is different from being godly."
Oh, we are in agreement there.
And I assume one day, Christ, as you so much hold him up, will find that you burn in his churches. For sinners are always found, are they not?
The Lord forgives those of us who walk in the path of righteousness. If only we are truly repentant.
But smites those who use his word to harm others.
Quite. It is a good thing that I've never harmed another good soul.
Telling someone to harm someone is the same as doing the deed yourself. Would you like me to quote the passages for you?
I might be interested in that in the sense that it would be the same level of entertainment of watching a horse count. But I am busy elsewhere. Enjoy your skulking and your sneaking. And perhaps if you are right and I am wrong, I will see you in hell one day. But I have faith. And I am doing the right thing." And he turns around and he walks away. You get the sense that he was very much amused by what you said, rather than perturbed. Very much in the, "Oh, look, a counting horse or a talking dog" kind of way. He considers you a fascinating sideshow, and he will not hesitate to step on you to get somewhere else.
Good. Those who underestimate people around them are normally the first to die.
Fredrik, anything else you want to do in the nursery?
Let me think.
Or Komrik, by the way, who is there with you.
Frederick's probably just gonna wait for the count to recover from whatever is going on. Wait for an explanation.
Komrik's gonna start rummaging around in his backpack underneath his. He's gonna pull off his duster and bring out the journal that he had from Rollo, and he's gonna flip to an empty page. He's gonna say, Count, we're here, like I said, only to help. It would help us find your son if we could maybe get the accounts that have happened in the last few days.
I am not home much. And when I am not necessarily present. Something Agnes has lectured me about. But I will do my best. Should I just start?
Well, let's start from what happened and go backwards. Your son turned
That was
into
not my son.
Up. What was your son? Turned into something, and I'd like to know what it looks like. It'd help us find him.
Well,
You said something about a tail.
quite a long tail, I might add, as well as budding horns protruding from his hairline. Rather angular facial features for what was previously a rather beautiful, chubby baby boy, and disturbingly dark eyebrows. Blonde.
He starts sketching what he thinks might. What size was he? If it was like
The same size as he was before, which is to say he was far too large for a 3-month-old baby. He was
If you
already
were to
sitting up. It's ridiculous.
right.
He was
right.
sitting up with 2 weeks. That's when Agnes was already melancholy after childbirth, and she was not well. Why we had to nurse, and when he was sitting up at 2 weeks, she rather lost it.
Yeah.
I tried to understand what got into Agnes. I'm worried she's rather lost her mind and that she'll never come back to me, but one must keep hope.
Well, it sounded like this scenario of Father Cornelius performing an exorcism was
Something
not your
Agnes
first,
suggested.
but it wasn't
There.
your first inkling to do this. Why was that?
No, I was never quite convinced. I'm not necessarily one for the church. Say, it was always Agnes who believed in everything and told her I'm a scientist, I look into legends and lore, and I am a musician, and why would the stories in the Bible be different from the stories in any other mythic book? You know? But that is not something I could say around my wife.
Or Father Cornelius? He seems to think that you are very religious and follow suit.
I did allow him to perform an exorcism, but I was really getting quite desperate.
What other
No
support?
one had shown up after I sent a letter asking for aid.
Then I apologize for that.
Last
What other
night
support?
in the moonlight, I already thought I saw it. But I convinced myself I was wrong.
So when he grew this tail and the horns and what happened with that? Was it when Father Cornelius started, or was this previous?
We had Father Cornelius had a strange issue to begin with even bringing his bag into the house. That was difficult, which is when I started to wonder if perhaps he was right. Edward was very calmly playing in his crib, and when Father Cornelius started reciting from his book, it remained everything remained fairly normal. It was when he pulled out the cross that I keep calling it Edward, but I don't think it was. It made this strange sound and transformed and jumped out of the crypt, knocking it over. It climbed up to the ceiling. And then sort of half tore down the drapery and fled out the window we had left open to not trap any spirits that were going to be exorcised. I thought the spirits might flee and I would be left with my boy. And now I am left with nothing.
Now you say that there was some stories that you've heard. Is there any stories that might correlate with this situation or what your son turned into?
I've gathered many stories of folklore and traditional songs, but most of them have to do with cows and honey.
Cows and honey.
Again, it hardly seems relevant. Many stories center on the village that is near the 9 Craters, Kali village, but I have been there many times over the years, and nothing has ever seemed supernatural in any way at all. So clearly,
so are you going there for concerts? Like you're paid to go out there and perform music, or you going out there for other reasons?
I went there to learn.
Learn about what?
Not the sharpest, are you? I learned the local folklore and songs from them. I am not necessarily from Uzul originally, so I'm learning the local folklore from those who have been here for a very long time.
As you probably presume, I'm not from here either. So I'm not too sure about the local folklore, but if it helps us in any type of way to find this beast and maybe turn it back into your son, that's the only thing that we're trying to find out. So if you have any other ideas of where in these 9 craters, a city in 9 craters that maybe something might retreat to, that's all I'm trying to get at.
Surely, if you're assuming that the people of Kali village have to do with this, surely it would simply be in the village. I mean, they've been most helpful contributing to my dissertation, Songs of Shadow and Fire. I'm sure you read it after you heard you were coming here.
It's a piece of
They gave me
mastery.
a wonderful musical instrument. They shared their songs with me.
Now, did they do this for?
Wrong.
They did this out of the kindness of their heart, or they expected payment?
They expect payment. I am sharing.
Sharing what?
Their songs. Ever since they've taught them to me, I've been performing them to great success.
And they're okay with that?
Why wouldn't they be? The songs are beautiful. It takes people who are listening to them away from their weariness and forget that they're in the city, and it just makes you feel like you're in nature all over again.
Sounds amazing. All right, Count. Well, we'll try to find as much as we can and get back to you as soon as possible.
Just one question, I guess. Did the people ever ask for anything?
I mean, not outright. I paid for the goods I purchased.
Well, what did they ask for?
I was mainly doing field work. I did at one point spend 2 hours debating whether or not the craters were created by volcanic activity, which is the local belief, or by meteor strike, which is my belief. I had a really good rapport with one of the villagers. Her name is Leelo. I needed to befriend more villagers besides Leelo, because originally no one would share their stories with me. She loaned me a musical instrument, and she said that if I learned how to play the local melodies, perhaps the village would open up to me more. So I performed at her inn, again to great success.
When you said that you paid for goods and services, what did you pay with?
My room at the inn and the food. Silver, gold, copper. What else do you pay with?
Sir, it doesn't sound like you got their permission to use these tunes and sounds and to share
I was
it.
fine with it. I took some soil samples from around the craters as well. They were very touched by my talents and very moved by my interest in their musical traditions. After I performed at Leelo's Inn, many people came forward to share their songs and tales with me. I spent many evenings there with them.
And you've been sharing these with everyone from here on out?
I think my dissertation was finished about a month before Agnes gave birth. It wasn't just about their songs. Like, it's all tied together. It's also about how the creators came into being. I stand by my statement that they were made by meteor impact, of course. My reviewers called it groundbreaking, both in content and method, and it has quite a significant impact. Many publications. So I suppose in that way, I have shared a fair amount of their songs and stories. But there are many more to learn. I feel like I've only barely scratched the surface.
Carmack's going to turn towards Fredrik and give him a quizzical look. I'm not really convinced here. Fredrik, you have any other questions for the Count here?
But while you're turning to Fredrik, Hugo has walked to like a nearby bookcase and has started pulling out copies of his dissertation to hand to you, along with some letters from reviewers going, look, all the way in Europe, they were impressed with my research. And he just starts showing you graphs and little details about soil composition that prove that it was a meteorite that created these craters and not volcanic activity, despite what the locals might be trying to tell you.
Do you mind if I take some of these with us? It might help us along our way.
Oh, no, please. They're spare copies. I sell some of them, but you can take these.
You're so kind, Count. Like I said, we'll do everything to bring your son back.
I guess my last question is, how long have you known Agnes for?
Agnes and I, we go back many years. Quite a young marriage. It was merely Edward who took a long time to arrive. Not for lack of trying, of course.
Gross.
Not local indeed.
Did Agnes ever join you on your musical expedition?
No. She stayed home. Before you insinuate anything else, I was never unfaithful.
Is she also not from here? She's not a local?
She's not necessarily from Ozil, but nearby.
Now, Count, you know, we're trying to help you. And you do know the difference between honesty and transparency, correct?
Well, for crying out loud, your DM just doesn't know what the town is called that is across the bay. Fine, Let me go to the local map. Hang on. No, I will find this for you. You asked, I will find this. Please hold. It's just someone insert the Jeopardy music or something. So Count Hugo, by the way, is originally German, which you were told in episode 2. But Agnes is from Blotland. There you go.
Was that
All
the
right.
Jeopardy music? Was that wrong?
No, you
I
were right.
mean, it's
It was a
close
loose
enough.
interpretation.
Yeah, it has to be a loose interpretation, or we're gonna get a copyright strike.
Oh, that's true too. Right. Yeah.
TOS appropriate. Thank you. So, Hugo is Baltic German because Germany doesn't exist technically as we know it now because it's 1882 and also it's a fantasy realm. And Agnes is Swedish on paper. They've known each other forever. Their legal marriage was 4 years ago. But their families have been going, for fuck's sake, for like a decade.
All right. Well, I think we have pretty much everything that we need to get started. Thank you for your hospitality. We'll see our way out.
As you look back as you're saying this, he seems to have briefly forgotten that you were still around and is once again engrossed in his own dissertation.
Narcissist. All right.
Focused scientist. Linnea. You're a little bit behind Father Cornelius coming out, so you basically come out the front door to a still foaming at the mouth Astrid.
Now is probably not the best time, but I found you this.
Uh-huh. I like it. It's a pretty color. Plus, it's local. You know, growing local garden stuff is much better than trying to grow foreign because you might introduce an invasive species and it's bad. So you should always grow local and make sure you also collect your pollinators.
It's good for the bees.
Yes.
I need a bee command. Thanks. I have one for sharks. Why don't I have one for bees?
So I have some information, but I also assume you do too, which I don't think we should discuss here.
I think you're probably right. Hey,
and also
what's this?
Keep them busy.
Oh.
What did you think it meant?
We should do laundry soon.
Oh no, that means keep going.
Okay. Next time. I'll remember that for
Yeah.
next time.
Well, we're gonna make a list of hand signals.
I think that's a good idea.
It'll make us better spies. Because I'm not good with the people. You're good with the people, and I'm good with the sneaking.
Am I?
Yeah,
never
you are.
mind. Okay. That's
You're good with people. You have the ability to make people feel comfortable and talk to you. You're good with people.
You make people.
It's why
I'm very comfortable around you. You shouldn't sell yourself short.
I make people highly uncomfortable. It's okay. We don't need to deny this.
I can't remember our height differences. So if Astrid is significantly shorter than Linnea, that was not a short joke. Okay, so but we didn't mess it up, right? Like you had enough time to do whatever you were doing?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, no is very concerning. It's yeah or it's no.
It's just yeah. It's
Okay,
good. All's good. I did yell at the priest.
I feel like that was sort of inevitable. So
Okay, good. I'm glad we agree on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna consider that a wash.
I did accidentally mix up my Titus with my Corinthians, but you know, it's all the same.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
We should probably wait for the other two.
Did you see how I didn't just run off to Leelo's?
I'm really
I
proud
thought
of
about
you.
it. I thought about it for
I also
like
think we
a
should
second.
go to Leelo's.
Yes.
Okay, good.
But I thought about just going there without telling anyone, and then I didn't. So
This is growth, is what this is.
thank you.
It's amazing what you can do when you're not high on opium.
I know, right? But painkillers, it's an acceptable high. It's a culturally acceptable drug.
You got stuff done.
I know, right?
I've gotten a little trouble, even though mine was just whiskey. Like, what's a little spirit? It's fine.
Wait, who'd you get in trouble with?
We can talk about that later. I'm still a little mad about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. I may have not given you that letter by accident, and I apologize.
I appreciate it. Not your apology, which you don't need to apologize for. I appreciated the letter.
I have suspicions.
Well, I didn't appreciate
but we'll
the
talk
letter.
about it later.
I appreciated your gesture. Let's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Also, we still need to talk about that nurse and what Komrik was going to do to her in the alley.
That is also a conversation. I thought they were just talking. Wasn't he bumming a smoke or something?
No. Do you know how babies happen?
Oh, that is a bit of a conversation.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that this conversation is still happening while like they're both holding on to this flower. We can scene change before our GM.
No, it's fine. I'm slowly dying. By all means, keep going. I think Fredrik just did the 1882 talk is basically babies are what happen when you're married, and that is all the information you get when you're a lady.
Unless you have Astrid as a friend.
Yes. Yeah,
Friend.
she absolutely does not.
Let's leave the word friend there and just move away from this conversation.
Her birds and the bees talk was literally about you need bees for flowers and
Yep.
literally straight up.
You get nothing else. Not like the on your wedding day, your mom might sort of just go with it, and that's pretty much where it ends.
Love that for us.
Anyway, while Astrid and Leia are awkwardly sharing a flower, and I'm not going to rehash that conversation talking, at least Komrik comes out. I'm not sure if Fredrik followed suit or if you are wandering off or what the plan is.
Does Komrik come out as we're saying what Komrik was going to do to that nurse in the back alley?
That would make sense, actually,
Yes.
with the way things have been going. Yes.
Yes. I'm standing right here.
Oh, good. Would you like to be a part of the explanation?
I was distracting the nurse so that you could talk to Agnes.
But
I
we already
don't
talked to
understand why. No, you were talking to her. I distracted the nurse so you could talk to her.
Yeah,
I don't understand why
just
what
out
I
of the
was
room,
doing
though.
in an alley.
Yeah, you and the nurse in the alley.
This is not a game of clues and things. I didn't do anything in the alley with a nurse.
But what would you have done? That's the question.
That is the question. It's a very important question. When does Fredrik show up and yell at us?
Well, Fredrik's wandering around allowing y'all to wallow in this savory chat.
There was no nurse in any alley. You saw the conversation that I had with the nurse. That was it.
I mean,
That was it.
it doesn't take a conversation to do what we're talking about in the alley. You don't have to talk to each other. You don't even have to like each other sometimes.
Well, that does happen. However, I was just told that I smell like the sea, so I'm pretty sure that nothing really happened with the nurse if I smell this way. Nobody told me. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Linnea's gonna
I
lean
think
in
the
real
sea
close
smells good.
and take a giant whiff.
Why would you do that to yourself?
He
She's a
smells.
detective.
Oh my gosh.
He smells actually like.
Regret?
Okay, some of you are a little more. No, he smells like choices. No, some of you are more perfumed than others. But you don't like you washed after you came off the boat. There is no literal sense of him smelling like the sea.
Huh. Well? Nope.
She means he smells like scurvy and crabs.
It's fair enough. All right. We had a rough couple nights. It's fine.
I don't remember eating crabs, though, which is weird because in, like, a seaside town, there was surprisingly little seafood the other night.
Right? Yeah, I didn't really think about that. So we probably should deliberate some of this information that I have. Fredrik and I did some talking to the Count. Probably not here, though.
That sounds like a totally good idea. Where is Fredrik? And do I have to worry about him murdering me? That's a question for later. But where is Fredrik?
He was right behind me when we were coming down the stairs. I don't know.
Did he get distracted by a maid? Is it possible for him to get distracted by a maid? This is now a question I must find the answer to.
He's pretty focused.
He does seem very focused. We should get him to focus on something other than you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
That'd be
All
pretty
right.
handy.
Yeah.
Maybe he could earn an extra raisin in his pudding.
Maybe we should get him focused on Leelo.
Well, we should get up there and find out.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about relations when we need to find something?
Because you have to focus on a group of chickens. And I mean that lovingly.
So
Because
probably would have held back and tried to speak to the butler.
Poor butler that you so nicely helped up after a rude American knocked him on his ass for doing his job.
Yeah. Indeed.
America! America!
You can easily find the butler. He is polishing table silver.
So you have to and you're like, did we ever get his name?
No.
You're like, pardon me, I don't think I've ever got your name during the initial rude greeting of my friends. No, excuse me, acquaintance there.
You mean that ruffian?
Yes, indeed. I'm surprised he is not yet in jail myself.
Honestly, it can only be a matter of...
So you're...
my apologies. My name, of course. Considering where you've just come from, potentially slightly awkward. Edward. But with a W instead of a U. They did not name their child after me.
No, you are local to this area, right?
Quite.
I
I was born here, raised here. Went away for training because honestly, you find a proper butler on an island this size, and returned.
Just between you and me, one faithful servant to another. Have even Kaiserlings here done anything inappropriate to the area? Things that go against usual custom.
Well, her ladyship is far far more interested in the Christian faith than most locals. Many local customs she considers gauche, superstitious, leading to some conflicts among the servants.
Hmm.
We want to be paid. Behave.
Do they not pay you?
Oh, they certainly do. But should they find, say, a small altar with milk or local pay? Count von Karselling is not upset, but the Lady Agnes will be quite distraught.
Oh my, has she happened to disturb one of these before?
She has simply demanded that all current ones were removed and no new ones were made, which, as you and I both know, merely means that they are now more properly hidden at the back of the house.
Hmm. Oh, that is a shame. I know far too well that those are placed there for a reason, especially if they have come before you.
Again, we've moved most of them. I feel like a lot of this could have been prevented if perhaps her ladyship had been a little more willing to go with local customs. In any case, and none of the customs we follow are harmful, so there is really no reason not to leave a saucer of milk out or sew a rune into a pillow. Unless you believe Father Cornelius, in which case there are all terrible gateways into demonic activity.
The father is another thing altogether.
What do you expect from a street fighter turned priest?
Street fighter, you say?
Oh yes, it was quite the scandal when we found out a street fighter and gang criminal from St. Petersburg saved by the church.
Oh, how interesting.
Well, honestly, I find him quite deplorable, but interesting is one word.
I mean, but it is just a descriptor. Well, I understand how things work. I do not want to take up too much of your time. Thank you for humoring me. Hopefully, nothing took offense to Mrs. Van Kaiserling's requests around here.
We've mitigated good. And again, they are now without a child.
If there's anything that's to be done about that, I will certainly try to get it done.
I wish you the best of luck with whatever your future endeavors may hold. And if you're ever in the position to knock that American on his ass for me, please do.
Oh, already done it once. I'm sure we'll do it again.
Wonderful. The next one's on me.
Maybe a little extra for me as well.
We have a deal. Alright. So we're going to pull away from Fredrik and Edward with a W. And we're running out of time, but I very briefly want to have a short little moment with Astrid.
Yes.
Because watching that troll baby flee across a house roof and far away from you, I assume reminds you of something or someone.
Yes.
And I would like to know how that makes Astrid feel. Because this is the first time you've encountered situation so reminiscent of your own past. And watching someone's child flee back or away from those thinking they were going to raise him might add an extra layer there.
Astrid is purposely being very flippant in the sense of like when you're really, really close to a breakdown, you be really flippant in order to attempt to be like, everything's fine, it's all okay. So I was purposely doing a bit of like eccentric energy, like talking about anything but what is it's a problem. It's a problem she's going to deal with on her own when they get back.
I will say that after the time spent together, Linnea and Komrik are picking up on that this is a little more than just seeing something with a tail run across a roof. Because you've had a pretty fucked up week. And before this happened, you weren't as close to breaking as some of your party members. So the fact that suddenly now is when you are full on coping and being flippant and honestly just deflecting the fuck out of this. They're looking at you just a little sideways.
Yeah. And, if anyone had turned around when they could hear crying, Astrid was super tense and didn't even think about it and left.
Astrid dipped as soon as it was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're going to leave off for this week. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out more next week. Dun, dun, dun. Right. I know Eva has to leave us again because, we have different ideas of what a mini campaign entails. Mine lasts about 5 years. So let's super quickly do sign-offs.
We know that now.
Lesson learned. Same order as before. Baker, go. Put your trauma away.
My name is Baker. I have no trauma whatsoever. And you can find me on Instagram where I post pretty food. And you can find me on Twitter where occasionally I rant about people's politics and try not to and just talk about how weird I am. So have a lovely day.
Wonderful. Eva, go.
It was me. Hi, I'm Eva. This is my channel. You can find us back here in 20 minutes for Monster Hearts. And the season finale of Horizon's Call this Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific. That's me.
You're definitely not doing anything horrendous or dangerous, and I'm sure everything will turn out fine. Mikyl.
Hi, I'm Mikyl. You can find me at Mikyl Sandoval on Twitter and on Instagram. I do some art, I do some things, but most of all, I'm here on Eva's channel on Saturdays for the season 1 finale of Horizon's Call, where we might be fighting a god queen of krakens or something. So
I said, nothing exciting.
Nothing. My Oathbreaker, Paladin, Triton, and Shadow Sorcerer might be getting his ass kicked. Come watch. Who knew? All right. Bye, all. Thanks for...
Does your Kraken look like this?
I'm sure Derek, who the great Derek Sword is our DM, and I'm sure he is going to have
Vaesen's Kraken, in case you're
added
wondering.
Things to the Kraken because it is the mother of Krakens.
I have no way to segue Mother of Kraken into Wilde, so I'm sorry, Wilde, it's just you.
Yes, hello, I'm Wilde at Wild Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. Aside from here, you can catch me on Saturdays on Other Dog's channel for some Invisible Sun. And yeah.
Wonderful. My name is Anniek. You can find me here on Sundays and at the end of August twice on a Saturday when I'm running Mothership Venus Rising. Because I promised Eva I could run it so she could play it, and it's going to be kind of gross. Actually, I'm very excited. Other than that, everything I have planned doesn't have a date or players, so follow my Twitter at Anniekster, and hopefully I'll remember to post there when I'm doing stuff. I do also post art and political bullshit, so tread carefully. Not everything is PC. And I think that's us, because Eva has to run away and do Monster Hearts. And we have to do call-outs and tell each other how much we love each other after that awkward 3.5 hours of watching people trying to flirt. So we'll just be back next week and discover more and continue diving into this mystery of trolls and changelings and music and creators. Be good to each other, pet your pets, drink water, stretch. Be a better person than I am.